Smoochies! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Semyia, and today is day 5 of our 9-day NPHC marathon. And again, we have some familiar faces. We are not about to go through and introduce ourselves again, but we will introduce ourselves so we get to our speaking parts. But today's video is going to be about our love story for our Greek life, or our D9 love story.
I don't love just anyone. I am not just anyone. I rock heels, I rock Jordans, and I wear wigs and rock my natural. Can you believe he says I'm pretty for a dark skin? He was dark skin. I bought some Hennessy for these niggas. Wonder if they love their mother. I love their skin colors.
Basically, the moment that we knew that our D9 org was the one for us, we're going to tell y'all. But we're going to tell y'all our love story of when we found out that our org was the first. The one, the only one. Alright, so I'm going to go first, and then we'll just, pass the mic. So, if y'all don't know, I am a finer woman of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Theta Beta chapter. So, my love story begins at Tuskegee University, obviously. It was my freshman year, and I went to a party. I'm not going to say whose party it was, but I went to someone's party. It was a Greek organization. And I rode with some girls who I did not know. It was like one of the first parties I had ever been to, away from home and stuff. And I basically didn't know nobody for real. So I was at this party alone by myself. And then when it was time to go home, I could not find my ride. They dipped. They left me. And it was in the middle of nowhere at the Soul Inn. If anybody is from Tuskegee, you know where that is. There is no walking home. It is the woods, the forest, nature, death, kidnapping, zombies, apocalypse, all that good stuff. So there's nowhere you could go, and obviously I'm in club attire, which means I was too hot for my own good. And so it was me and a few other girls who were also stranded. And thank you. And they were gonna walk. They was gonna try to walk in heels and skirts and whatnot. And I was like, no. So I was like, the next group of people that come out here, specifically girls, because I just would trust a woman more. I was like, the next, girl that comes out here, I'm gonna ask them if they could drop me back off at campus and see if they can give these girls rides too. So the next group of girls that came out, they were not wearing any pair. I did not know any Greek affiliation, but they happened to be Zetas, which I later found out. But I asked them for a ride, and I was like, yeah, these girls are going to walk home. Can you give us a ride home? And they said yes. So we lapped up in this car. It wasn't a lot of space, but they put us in the car with them, and they gave us a lecture about safety. This is our first party as freshmen. We don't know nothing. We are away from home for the first time. They gave us a big sister type of talk about safety and basically just making sure that we look out for each other as women and stuff when we leave campus, and that we have a plan for getting home at all times and that sort of thing. And I really appreciated that because I didn't know them. But later on I found out that they were Zetas, literally probably a year later, because that's when I started paying attention to letters and colors and knowing who was who. But they were familiar faces at the time, and I just was like, wow, that was really nice of them. And that stuck with me because I was like, not many of these orgs represent their principles all the time without the letters on. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know who they was, but they were still finer women who were looking out for other women, doing service, you know what I'm saying? And that stuck out to me because I was like, it was not a recruitment tactic. They weren't out here trying to promote their org. They literally were just looking out and being good Samaritans, being fellow women and fellow Tuskegee students, and treating us like little sisters at the time. And that really was important to someone like me who's from another state and who didn't have nobody to look out for me. So I appreciated it. And that was the moment that I fell in love with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Wow. That was beautiful.
Yes. Thank you. Tears. When did you fall in love?
So, the moment I fell in love with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated was really watching my mom, my aunt, and my grandmother growing up. I've always admired them as women, the way that they showed themselves, how they were always very independent, very beautiful, could walk in heels. Even though I still struggling on that last part, they always like carried themselves with a lot of pride. And that's what I always saw, especially when they wore their letters. So that's something that I truly admired about them. I absolutely love my mother. She's one of my biggest inspirations. She's actually off in medical school right now, which is what I'm trying to be someday in life.
Yes, black doctors.
Yes, for real. So, but that was the moment that I knew I wanted to be an Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Ivy woman. Yes. So, I love my family, and I truly appreciate everything that my sorors have done for me, the older members and the newer ones, my line sisters, and all of them. Which way we going?
Steven's next.
Left turn, like.
Bro. But again, hey, I'm Stephen Gaylord. I'm a part of the Tuskegee alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the legacy chapter, the first chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi in the state of Alabama. Legendary, I know, right?
I mean, we were the first sorority,
Facts.
But
it's all
okay.
good. Anyway, what my love
111 years. Sorry.
My love for Kappa happened or started back in middle school with one of my PE coaches. His name was Coach Biggers. He basically always pushed me to do better than what it was, because back then, like, I was a little heavy set kid, wasn't the best physically active. I was kind of like down and out by myself, but he always saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, and he was kind of pushing me. And I knew that he was a part of Kappa Alpha Psi, but it didn't really register in my head like that for real. But then when I got to high school, we had this thing called Kappa League. I wasn't necessarily a part of it, but I hung out with a lot of them. I did a bunch of different community service and different things like that. All the teachers that basically pushed me to come out of my shell and be a better man and better person were members of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
Pick it up, groove. Baby girl, watch how you move. I got them vests on my shoes. I pop a pill and I lose. Wait, speed it up. Look at the diamonds, they eat it up. Got me two bitches, I'm eating up. They thinking I'm wife and deleting them. Oh wait.